my patrons on Patreon, as well as everyone else who will see this in about a week from now. Blessed, blessed, blessed full moon in Gemini. Got a spell to do just for you. God. Pippin flashback. And as you can see, I am not doing it from the dining room / studio. I am doing it from the living room couch / studio, where I live stream every morning, cup of coffee, bathrobe, except, change things up a little bit. I'm in a really good mood. I had a very fun day, very creative day today. So riding that Gemini waxing moon almost to full. It is exactly 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:08. This will go full, so obviously you guys will be getting this video afterwards, because I got to process it and, send it out into the world when it's meant to. But this will be a good one, and so we're just going to get into it. It may not be as long as my other ones, because Gemini magic is quick, and we're talking about Mercury retrograde. So I have an outline, obviously, so we don't wander all over the universe to pull this off, but nonetheless, it's a very, very simple magic. We're about to do a simple spell, and let me say this now so I don't forget it. I will probably repeat it to make sure I make the point. It doesn't matter when you do this spell. Obviously, before a Mercury retrograde, during, after, whatever, you do you, but certainly you don't have to wait once a year for a Gemini full moon. Well, it happens once a year unless it's a blue moon. So we're doing this because Mercury is going retrograde at the end of the year, right before New Year's Eve. So I figured this was the inspiration that came. I sent the Google Doc to my patrons on Patreon. They get all of the list of exactly what I'm going to do in an unlisted link so that they can see it and nobody else can. You got to have the link to see it. So I hope you all enjoy this. Got to talk a little bit. I mean, by all means, full moons in Gemini, might as well. So let's just go over the outline real quick so there's no surprises for anybody who doesn't have the unlisted. Oh yeah, and my friends in the Angelo Lyons Mal for short private Facebook group get the unlisted link too. So a spell for Mercury retrograde, Gemini full moon, December 2022. Welcome. Hello. Check. We'll do an opening prayer and statement of purpose, just my standard thing, because I took a shower, I did my hair for you, my patrons, and elsewhere. This is a statement of purpose, casting a spell for Mercury retrograde. We'll talk about the astrological timing of that, when it begins, when it ends. A bit about retrogrades in general we're going to be talking about, because it's not the only planet that goes retrograde, but what they actually are, and my take on it, what I've learned from the gods, you could say. You can't say that. And then, we'll talk a little bit about the actual full moon dynamic, because this is full moon in Gemini. A bit about that to kind of inform this a little bit. And really, you could do it any moon in Gemini, but obviously when in relation to the retrograde itself is up to you. I got a good metaphor using the Long Island Railroad. That should be fun. For retrogrades, Mercury retrograde in particular, we'll go into that. Had some really interesting insights and inspirations come over the past 48 hours that I wrote down, and I'm glad I did. Then we'll talk about the tools that we're using. I'm literally blessing a pair of earrings that I wear practically every day. We'll talk about that. All of that is optional. Tools are always optional with me. If you can memorize it, but I like being able to kind of do that, right? These are the earrings. My Gemini earrings are a pair, twins of pentacle earrings. They're identical, right? And I am going to be working with lavender oil. It's already on the candles. I have 3 tea lights, but this is just for me. I'm really good at point and shoot. But I like the stuff. It's fun. It's fun, and it does make a symbolic equation, so to speak. Put it all together. So for the working itself, we're just going to do a simple spell for sacred space. I do have some sage in an abalone shell. Might light it, might not. Doesn't matter. I'm literally doing this in my house. And black spirits and white, red spirits and gray. It's a classic. We'll talk about that before I do it. cleansing and consecrating the tool. I wear these all the time. You do you on that. Other videos, I set up the altar, right? And I devote the altar. We're not even doing an altar devotion for this. This is like a get in, get out kind of deal. This is Mercury retrograde, right? The trickster, the messenger, and all of that mutable air. And anoint and empower the earrings I am going to do, even though I already did it earlier. Actually did it last night. As soon as it went at midnight, I cast the spell. So yeah, I'll just refresh it with a little bit of lavender oil, which I have right here. Good old Auricacia. Yeah, then we do the spell, and I'll read it to you before we do it. We are going to say it 3 times for, well, 3rd house, Gemini, 3rd side of the zodiac. It's a good idea. I always like working in 3s. Way before Charmed was on TV, I knew about the power of 3. It's my soul number, actually, numerologically, and it's a magic number. Anyway, Schoolhouse Rock alert. So yeah, we'll say it the first time you say it, just to feel the words in your mouth, right? To get your mouth used to it, right? Getting the muscles oriented. Second time, put a little oomph into it. A little, you know, it's like the power of 3 will set us free. I don't know how that blows up demons, but somehow it did. Right? You gotta put your heart, put a little oomph into it, a little power, a little will, a little air into it. And then 3rd time, just full out. Now do keep in mind, I'm at home, it's late at night. I'm not going to scream this at the top of my lungs, nor do I think it's necessary. Because as far as my experience with Hermes, who is Mercury, who is Hermes, Elegua, Thoth, right, or all these different manifestations of the Loki is a trickster god. I don't know how much of a messenger he is, but he's definitely a trickster. I love him. He's beautiful, and he's saved my ass so many times that I know him and I are cool. So let's get into it. Let's do that quick little opening prayer. Just the same thing I do every single time, with some variations here and there. Oh, I have my blue Ho'oponopono water, my blue solar water. And I could not be more comfy if I tried. And feline intervention, my cats happened already. We'll see if it happens again. If they do, we'll cope. So, please take a nice deep breath. Those ocean wave sounds in the background have become a staple for my life. And take a moment. Tune into your body, right? Get comfortable. And this isn't, you know, we're not going to sit zazen for 20 minutes. We're not going to, you know, it's just that check-in. So that the nervous system has an opportunity to just be here now by you giving your attention to what might need to shift or move, any chronic areas. Of course, I have candles lit, but I'm not going to fall forward into them. If you have candles lit, make sure your area is safe. Safety first. You can do this eyes open or eyes closed, but I like to put up that music and that picture. And just breathe. Focus on your breath. Gemini moon, full moon, mutable air, changeable air. Knight of Swords in the tower. And when you really focus on your breath, the thoughts will come and go, but it is certainly easier to stay the witness of the thoughts instead of being the thinker of the thoughts. Take you pretty easily into center. Only doing this for a minute or so. But so that you're here and now. Body's comfortable. We'll gradually relax as we go through this. But also that the mind can do what the mind can do, and all we have to do is breathe. Thoughts come in. Thoughts go out. thoughts come in. Thoughts go out. And as you keep doing that, it's from this place I offer this prayer. Still point. I call upon our collective pantheons of the divine. Guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, ancestors, higher selves, all the way back to the divine singularity, the nameless Tao, the pregnant void, the mother of all, source, to surround each and every one of us watching this whenever, wherever they are, in a force field of light, containing and protecting our energy field so that all information and energy that exchanges between us and anything going on around us does so clearly, cleanly, and for the well-being of all, that we may take some wise action in terms of Mercury retrograde. Happens 3 times a year. We can prepare for it. But it's also how we see it that makes all the difference, as we will be discussing in a few minutes. So please help us see all planetary retrogrades astrologically, as well as, importantly, Mercury retrograde is the one that gets the worst rap because it has the best press agent, Hermes. So please, as ever, use me, all aspects of me, known and unknown, all overtones, all dimensions, that I may be the channel of guidance, grace, love, wisdom, power, magic, miracles, and mysticism with a sense of humor that you sent me here to be. Because everybody here has something that they can do that no one else can do, and apparently this is what you sent me in to do. 3rd house, self-expression. Glad to do so. And may we all, at the end of this video, feel better than how we started. That's enough for something that's, free, essentially, on YouTube. But for my patrons, I will keep serving it. But also that we can move into this Mercury retrograde coming with more clarity, more truth, more centeredness, more ability to choose wisely in the moment, and rethink for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So let it be. So it is. I was waiting for that wave crash. You know I was. Hi! Right. Check. Casting a spell from Mercury retrograde. I've got other Mercury retrograde spells, but honestly, they're on thumb drives. The thumb drives of shadows up in the room of requirement somewhere. I'm not digging them up. This is one that came to me only a couple of days ago, maybe 3-4 days ago. So it just flew out of me, as it would make sense with a Gemini spell, Gemini's air-based spell. And so let's talk about this Mercury retrograde, the one I'm doing this for, but you can do this whenever. December 29th, 2020, it will retrograde in Capricorn. Then we'll go direct January 18th, 2023. So it's a sizable one, for sure. And of course, like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about retrogrades. But first, let's look at this full moon. Full moon in Gemini, mutable air, changeable air. Cardinal air is Libra, creative air. Fixed air is Aquarius. Like a stratospheric, frozen air, if you will, still air. And Gemini is mutable, just all over the place. The twins, right? So, all over the place. 3rd house, ruled by Mercury, self-expression, as well as people say your siblings. So, if you want to find the deeper astrological house dynamic, you're looking at the 3rd house. But I certainly see it as self-expression. Now, I have Libra, Mercury conjunct Venus, 3rd house, in Libra in my 3rd house, which allows me to do this and have fun with it. But you check your placements if you wanna. And, that means the sun is in Sagittarius, so the choices that we make in the outside world, the arrows of fire, you want to Really, really make sure you're seeing things clearly before making any life-changing, perhaps incendiary, mutable fire decisions. So, retrogrades. They're an optical illusion of planetary orbits. They don't actually go backwards. It really does crack me up every time somebody really honestly believes that the planets stop and go backwards. That would be so cataclysmic. That would be really a nightmare. Just let's not go there. No, and so I have this metaphor for the Long Island Railroad, if you've ever been on the Long Island Railroad, but it doesn't matter. Milky, or my youngest. Come here, buddy. Come be on TV instead of interrupting it. Taurus. He's not thrilled. Any place where two trains are going in the same direction, right? Long Island Railroad does that. Babylon to New York City. And so they both take off at the same speed, but then sooner or later, one goes a little bit faster, a little bit slower, and it looks like the train next to you is going backwards. It just looks that way. That's a really good beginning point of getting what retrogrades are about. So, decades ago, in a mystical moment, not everybody prays every day and talks to the divine and actually gets answers through insights, not, they don't appear on my couch, they don't disappear into the universe, Gary Renard me, they know better, they love me too much for that, I think. But he's like, it's a joke. It doesn't actually go backwards, but it's about what people think about it that has way more of an effect. And so if you do a little bit of a deeper dive into Mercury retrograde and a little more introspection, what is the purpose behind it? It's Hermes' jest, J-E-S-T. It's his joke. What we think and believe it is about, whatever our definitions of Mercury retrograde, because it's Mercury and it's Gemini energy in that it's all about what you think about it and believe about it colors our experience with therein. It's just how it is with everything. But obviously a scale of shadow to light led to gold, horrific to magnificent. Where do you want to be on that spectrum? So it's an opportunity to see things differently. Boom. That's enough, right? That's enough. Oh, I just have to see things differently. And if mechanical things go haywire, that's the divine giving you the opportunity to stop, slow down, and look at it from another POV, or another point of view. It's an opportunity to see it. You don't have to take that opportunity. It's okay. A lot of people don't. I do my best. Now, the thing is there's a word that we don't like, but that plays into this correctly if you understand the original meaning of the word, and that word is repent. All right? Oh, I hate that word usually, except it's from the French verb repenser, which means to rethink. So it is that. It is a time of repentance. I know, sounds hair shirty. No thanks, man. I don't like scratchy sweaters ever, right? I'm not wearing a hair shirt. Not going to happen. And when has that been in fashion ever? Not that I'm a slave to it. But you sort of get the idea, right? So that we can make this a verb where it is a time of rethinking before, particularly right in that where soon the sun is going to go into Capricorn, the holidays, all of that, the choices that we make long term, New Year's resolutions, right? All going to start on the 29th, right? So it's good to get this spell done ahead of time to kind of bring that into alignment. And this was the new one that really smacked me in the third eye. This is less than 24 hours ago. It's akin to the Hanged Man in the tarot. Slow down, sacrifice your point of view, see things differently and gain wisdom. Or, Ascended Master Howard Jones, don't crack up, bend your brain, see both sides. Throw off your mental chains, woo-hoo-hoo, and I believe the woo-hoo-hoo is essential. So I told you we were going to have fun, or at least I'm gonna. I don't care. I'm doing what I love. And as you can see, third house, it's working. Totally tuned to the chatterbox that is Hermes. Now, the tools I am using. 2 identical pentacle earrings, which is sort of fun to say, and that's my choice. I wear them all the time. The only readings I don't wear these are on is for the Cancerian ones, because I have 2 earrings that are specific for goddesses in the sign of Cancer for me. So otherwise I'm always wearing these. 3 tea lights, my choice. You can't even see them. them, but I'm sure I took a picture and I'm going to incorporate them into the editing process here. With my, I grabbed my selenite sphere and my citrine sphere for the moon and the sun, and I've got a rose quartz spire in the center, and then, you know, 3 candles, 3 different candle holders, just kind of threw it together for the ambiance and for the fun of it, and the creativity. I am a witch, I'm an artist. But necessary? Absolutely not. You do you. If you just have an object, you could use anything. I'm using earrings, a rock, anything. A piece of jewelry I think is easier because you can take it on and put it off, right? But, you know, a little thing in the pocket, and then you're like, oh no, where's my lucky tiger eye? My lucky tiger's eye. Practical magic flashback. So you get the idea, and I anointed the candles with essential lavender oil by Oracacia. They don't sponsor me, I don't sponsor them, but I like their product, and I tell people when I do. So, our working is just very simple. I'm going to take these off for said working. Going to do a little bit of something that I learned studying the Gardnerian tradition. Please don't cancel me if I don't remember where it came from originally. I might have to go to jury duty this week, so, you know, let's be kind, rewind. I'm going to just light a little sage here. Now, black spirits and white, red spirits and gray has nothing to do with race or any of that. It's about the 4 colors of the 4 elements. Black spirits is earth. Black spirits and white is air. Red is fire. And gray is water. Gray, blue. So black spirits and white, red spirits and gray. It just rhymes better than black spirits and white. Red spirits and blue. I didn't write it. Don't get mad. Get casting. Please take a nice deep breath. Béni soit la sainte fume de bénédiction. Black spirits and white, red spirits and gray. Come me that may. Oh, around and around, throughout and about. The good come in. Bad keep out. Black spirits and white, red spirits and gray. Come me that may, around and around, throughout and about. The good come in, the bad keep out. Black spirits and white, red spirits and gray. Come me that may, around and around, throughout and about. The good come in, the bad keep out. Black spirits and white, red spirits and gray. Come me that may, around and around, throughout and about. The good come in, the bad keep out. For the well-being of all, with harm to none. Whew, as we will it. So let it be done. So mote it be. And so it is. Breathe. Ground and center if you can. Cleanse and consecrate the tool. Hey, and we look with a puff of magic sage smoke. I doubt you can see him. My youngest son, Prince Melchior, the youngest, the 3rd son, will inherit the throne, because the 3rd prince usually does. Really simple. I cleanse and consecrate these earrings, these totems of Hermes for me, by the power of air, removing all negativity from them in every time and place, and keeping all the magic, the enchantment, the connection that was in there as needed, and releasing all that needs to go for the well-being of all, with harm to none, as I will it. So let it be done. So let it be. And so it is. Simple. Anoint and empower. You bet I'll anoint it. Pointy, 1990. Comment if you know what movies that's from. I'd give you a hint, but then you'd know what it is. Alright. It's casting time. You don't have to look at the screen for this. Why? Because I wrote it down in the Book of Ariel. My Book of Ariel. Yeah. Alright, so, how you feeling? Right? Feeling this wasn't like huge ceremonial, didn't draw no chalk on the floor, nothing, just simple. You can essentially call this This is going to implode a paradigm, but I don't care. It's mystical low magic, right? It's totally for practical means to help you navigate this. But let me read you the spell, right? So, when Blessed Hermes seems to turn, because he doesn't, just seems to, the mind can see what it has learned, rethink, look over it all, review it, right? I cast this spell by full moon light. Remember, you can tweak this. If anybody needs help tweaking this for their time and place, just message me. I'll help you. I do this stuff. I've done it for a very long time. So I cast the spell by full moon light to keep my mind aligned and right, which I think would just be helpful in general what the world is going through. Communication under grace, the perfect time, and the perfect place, which indicates that if it's not going the way you think it's supposed to go, I was supposed to happen, and say, wait a minute, what was that spell? This is all happening. All the communication is happening under grace, meaning I may not get it, but if I play the game, I have a better chance of benefiting from it. Communication under grace, the perfect time, the perfect place to clear the mind and clearly see the truth of what's in front of me. Like, oh yeah, the planet doesn't actually go backwards. It just looks that way, right? Perfect example. A wise, inspired path now made through this Mercury retrograde, right? So wise, I mean, come on. Hermes is also a god of wisdom. He's just different than Athena, right? They're very, very different siblings that way. But inspired, right? To actually have the inspiration or the spirit from within, your intuition, whatever, instead of being just purely mind chatter, which can happen anyway, regardless of planets doing what they're going to do. And then, of course, we have to have our magical lawyer's time end at the end, tie it up for the well-being of all with harm to none as we will it. So let it be done, and so we don't harm ourselves, right? Thinking things are one way and finding out that they're not. Oh, I'm going to do this in my hand, right? So, first time through, just going to say it. Second time through, give it a little maybe second or third season of Charmed. I love the show. But that first season, I was like, girls, bring back my girls. A third time, let them have it, but, I'm not going to wake up my neighbors, and I think Melchior would probably bolt off the couch. I doubt you can see him. Black cat on a dark blue cloak. I don't know if you could see him. Let's see. He's like, ma'am, stop it, my camera. Please take a nice deep breath. Told you we'd have fun. It's the frickin' holidays, right? Still point. And just take a moment again. Check in. We're not doing deep meditation. We're not astral projecting. We're not even doing shadow work. We are just checking in with the body. Just to be here now. And give the nervous system a chance to just relax a little bit more. Because I would think this spell would go very, very well with breath work. We're not going to do that now. But certainly something you could do silently while focusing on the breath wherever you are, with or without a carrier, totem, jewelry, rock, crystal, whatever. So breathe. Ground and center. When Blessed Hermes seems to turn, the mind can see all that, what it has learned. Get it right in your mouth, Mark. I cast this spell by full moon light to keep my mind aligned and right. Communication under grace, the perfect time, the perfect place to clear the mind and clearly see. the truth of what's in front of me. A wise, inspired path now made through this Mercury retrograde. Breathe. We're going to save the tagline, lawyer part, for the last one, the third one. So, your heart, I put gaps in it, so you can like do a repeat after me if you want to. So let's do second time. Feel it. Breathe. When blessed Hermes seems to turn, the mind can see what it has learned. I cast this spell by full moonlight to keep my mind aligned and right. Communication under grace. The perfect time, the perfect place. To clear the mind and clearly see the truth of what's in front of me. A wise, inspired path now made through this Mercury retrograde. Breathe. I'm going to do it all the way through with the lawyer lines at the end. One more nice deep breath. One more. It's head cold. When blessed Hermes seems to turn, the mind can see what it has learned. I cast this spell by full moonlight to keep my mind aligned and right. Communication under grace. The perfect time, the perfect place. To clear the mind and clearly see the truth of what's in front of me. A wise, inspired path now made through this Mercury retrograde. For the well-being of all and with harm to none. As I will it, so let it be done. So mote it be. So it is. With the breathing, you do get a little bit of the tingle, tingle, tingle. There we go. Popping these puppies back in. Oh, Hermes, Mercury, Legua, Thoth, all the manifestations of the messenger throughout time. Pony Express, But at least he had those cool sandals, Gotta be helpful. Although steering might have been weird the first day. I hope you enjoyed that. We are going to do a little closing thing. Going to ground you. You just don't do Gemini magic, air magic, and then go drive, right? Go inflict yourself on the people around you. No. We're going to get nice and grounded in this. But I want to say, I really think, right, just looking at the spell, you could take one line of that, anyone, and kind of make it a spell unto itself, an affirmation, right? We got an interview or something, a first date, whoever, got to call somebody you don't really want to talk to. Communication under grace, the perfect time, the perfect place, which means if for some reason all the cell towers go down, God forbid, it's whoopsie, I guess that wasn't meant to be. You never know how Mercury, and play along. Hermes is so much more fun when you have fun with it and you just laugh. And remember, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. And being on video every day, if I'm glitching my words now, oh no, but let's laugh, clown, laugh. So, is that right, Melchior? You seem to be pretty chill. I think You have to. He's right here. Come here. He's like a bowling ball. Fur-covered bowling ball with razor blades. Because my boys need to be loved and appreciated by the masses more than I do. Or I want them to, whatever. My good boys. Follow me on Instagram, whatever. So, let's wrap this puppy up. I think this might have been shorter than other ones, but, you know, I do go on sometimes. So, yeah, I outline, I don't need no stinking outline, to allow Spirit to speak through me, you know, all through my higher self. It all goes through the proper legal channels. I got good Akashic Records lawyers working on this stuff. But let's wrap this up, and, you know, now all I gotta do is do a little Sabrina the Teenage Witch cartoon version from the 70s, and I'm off and running. Please take a nice deep breath. Hey, you try being a gay witch in your next lifetime. See if you don't use your cultural references spontaneously. Still point. Yeah, no fucks left to give, I guess. As I call once again upon our collective pantheons of the divine, our guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, ancestors, and higher selves, all the way back to source. Thank you. Thank you. Let's start there. Thank you so much for surrounding each and every one of us who participated in this act of magic tonight. This simple spell, really, for Mercury retrograde. Tools optional. And that all information and energy that exchanged between us. There might have been some verbal glitches, but I had fun. And for the guidance and the grace and the love and the wisdom and the power that's floating through the words, under the words, around the words, above the words, whatever. Thank you so much for using me as the channel of guidance, grace, love, wisdom, and power that I have sacred contracts to be in this life. Shifting this world from less leaden timelines to more golden timelines, a more peaceful, populated with people still, paradise planet Earth, for the well-being of all, with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So would it be. So it is. Thank you for watching. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to be doing so much more of this stuff. We're on Patreon, patreon.com. So much freedom, so much leeway, and I don't have to deal with an algorithm. The people who are there want to be there, and I love them for it. So thank you. At the time of this recording, my seekers, humans, heroes, angels, witches, immortals, mystics, gods, goddesses, my 8 levels of subscribers, I love you so much. You have no idea how much life you give me. You give me life, whatever. And for everybody else, if you want to subscribe and the things up there, go click the link. We're having a lot of fun over there, and there's just so much more to come. And thank you again so very, very much. May this Mercury retrograde, whenever you are watching this, whenever it's coming, or even if you find yourself in it, may it be the best one you've ever had, but maybe not the best one you will ever have for the well-being of all. My pleasure. Hang in there. I love you. Hail. Farewell. Blessed, blessed be.